Hi, a viewer called John asked would I be to have a look at this Optimate III battery charger. Now what John said was the power light comes on, the test charge light comes on, but it never actually gets to the tick where it should be fully charged. So what I'm going to do, I'll grab a battery, we'll plug this in, we'll see what it does, and then we'll leave it for a while to see if the charge light comes on. And I think we'll measure the voltage out of it as well. Right, I've got a car battery here, extension lead and the test meter, so let's just plug it in. You can see the test charge light's lit up and the power light's lit up. Let's just see what the voltage is. And we'll switch the meter on. Okay, so we've got 12.84, 12.85, 12.86, so it is actually charging. So I think what we'll do, we'll leave it like this for a while. We'll see if the battery gets up to its full voltage, and then we'll see if this light comes on. Now John did seem to think it could be a problem with some capacitors inside, and what he did was he did send me a couple of capacitors, so we'll see what it does, we'll take it apart, and then we'll see if it does need capacitors or not. Right, I'll just leave this for a while to charge up. Right, let's see what this battery voltage measures now then. And it's up to 13.2. Right, we'll leave it a bit longer then. So I've had the battery on charge for a couple of days now, and when I came back, the little triangle light is lit up with some kind of error. When I've had a look on the internet to see what that means, the consensus was something like the battery isn't holding its charge or something. Well, this is a brand new battery, and it's not even been fitted to a vehicle. So let's see what voltage is in it. We've got 13.1. I wonder what happens if I switch this off and on. Well, it's gone back to test charge. And it is putting power out. Oh, now it's on into... No. It seems to be going a bit berserk now. All the lights were flashing a minute ago. So there's definitely something not right in here. Right. Well, at least we've seen kind of what it's doing. So I think we'll pull it apart and we'll have a look, see what's going on with it. I'm just going to get this battery out of the way for the moment. And it looks like we've got 4 Phillips screws on the back. So let's see if we've got any exploded capacitors or anything in here. All the screws. Right, let's see if this top comes off. Let's see what we've got in here then. Let's just zoom down a bit. I don't know if that's signs of corrosion or something down there. It looks a bit... could just be dirt. And I guess these are the 2 capacitors here. I mean, they don't look particularly domed, they're quite flat still. Right, so the board's held in with a further 2 screws, and that looks about it. So let's take those out. Everything's got a nice conformal coating over it. Well, let's take these capacitors out first and we'll check those. It looks like a good place to start. So I think it's that pin there and that pin there. I'm just going to add a bit fresh solder first. I think I've quite got that leg on that one. So this is 35 volts, 2200 microfarad. And that doesn't look too bad, I don't think. I think that looks okay, that. Let's see where the other capacitor is, and it's just here. So I guess those pins across there. Again, I'm just going to add some fresh solder to these. Actually, maybe that pin. I'll just solder that one back up. And this one's 470 microfarads, 35 volts. Again, doesn't look too far out of the way of that. So whatever the problem is, I don't think it's the capacitors. Let's just have a look at these two new ones that he sent and just compare. It might be worth just changing them in any case, seeing as he's got them. Again, pretty much similar values to what we had here. So don't think it's a problem with the capacitors. So what else could it be? Let's see if we can see what markings is on these chips, or what these chips are. Well, we've got an LM358 op amp there. And that looks like an LM324 op amp just here. That looks like we've got a 4060 here. I'm fairly sure that's some kind of counter or something. I can't quite tell what this IC is for the conformal coating on this. I guess whatever it is underneath this part here. Let's see if I can remove some of this conformal coating, just so we can see what numbers these chips are. So I've cleaned off this chip, but I can't see any number on it now. So what I'm going to try is just put some IP on it, and then shine a light on it. And that's an LM324 op amp as well. So there's no microcontroller or anything in this. Oh, there is over there. It looks like I, G and O, so probably a voltage regulator. Well, we'll pop these two new capacitors in. It's not going to do any harm to change them anyway, and he's bought new ones, so we might as well put them in. And then we'll have a look to see what we're going to check next. Let's make sure we're putting these in the right way. Right, we'll get those soldered up. Just snip off these excess legs. Right, let's have a look, see if we can see any dry joints or anything like that. Just wasn't too sure about that one there, but it looks okay, I think. It's only problem when you get reflections off the camera, it's hard to see. It's like at different angles, it looks like the dry joints when they're not. It's like that one looks like a big dry joint there. When you look at it from that angle, it doesn't actually look so bad. I want to go over that one in any case, just in case. Well, it looks like we've got a couple of adjustments here. We don't want to start messing with those. Let's see if we can see any signs of any burnt out components or anything. And everything looks okay up to now. Can't see anything obvious. Let's connect it up to the battery again. Let's get this battery connected back up. And let's just plug it in. Now, I don't think the capacitors would have made any difference, but we'll see. So I'm just going to leave it like that for a bit, and then we'll come back and see if there's any change. Well, I've left it a while, and now the yellow light is flashing. So according to that means it's in test mode, or it's testing the battery now. So I'm going to leave it a little bit longer just to see what happens. Well, that's interesting. I just came back to it. The power light's on, but none of the other lights are on. So that's a bit strange. Let's just see what voltage is in the battery. Just zoom out a fraction. And the battery's pretty much fully charged. So I've got no indicator lights on. Let's just check if we're getting power to that LED. I'm just curious. Let's just zoom back down. And hopefully without it disconnecting or going off. So the green LED's those two pins there. So are we getting any voltage there? The answer is yes. The 18 volts seems a bit high for an LED though. So I'm wondering if the LED's burnt out. And that's why he wasn't getting the two LEDs. So I wonder if it's been a combination of the capacitors, but the capacitors seem to measure okay, and a problem with the LED. Let's see if I've got another LED knocking about. Let's move the meter out of the way for now. And back with the replacement LED. So I'm just going to disconnect it from the battery and unplug it. Just looking at the orientation of the LED. So this one's got a flat side. I don't know if these ones are slightly smaller that I've got. Might want to pop that LED out. So it's just there. Just get some fresh solder on it. Might just see if I can just pull that straight out. I'll just clear these holes with the solder sucker. Let's test this LED with the test meter. Just get that one out of the way as well. Let's go and do diode check. Let's just test the new LED. Yeah, it is lighting up very faintly. And this one measures open circuit. So the LED has indeed gone. Just reuse this little plastic holder thing. Right, let's pop this LED in. I'll just try and hold that and try and get a bit of solder on it. Right, let's just check that one. I'm just checking I put it in the right way. Right, I'm going to plug that in again and then leave it for a while and we'll see if that LED lights up. Because the only problem with this charger is it runs through a cycle and each part of it takes about 30 minutes. It'll first check the battery status or the voltage for 30 minutes. Then it'll try charging it for 30 minutes and then it checks the battery voltage for 30 minutes before it then decides whether it's good or bad. So I'll have to leave it on for a while and then we'll see which of these lights light up. I'll just connect the battery back up. See, so it's gone from the desulfate mode to the charge mode straight away. Then this should start flashing for the test mode and then it should indicate whether the battery's good or bad by lighting up the green or the red LED. So we'll leave it to do its thing for a bit. So I just thought I'd come back and check and it looks like it's in its testing phase again because the light's flashing now. So I'll give it another 30 minutes and come back and hopefully we've got 2 green lights. Right, I've just come back and the LED is lit. It's not as bright as the original by the look of things, but it's definitely lit up. I'll just turn the light off just so you can see a bit better there. There we go. And the light's just going to come back on. So yeah, definitely working. So I think it's been a combination of possibly the capacitors, although I couldn't find anything wrong with the originals. I would have thought they would have been okay, but it just seemed to have made a bit of a difference. And a blown LED. So I'll put this back together and then we'll give it a final test and then I think we'll get it back to them. Right, so it's the following morning. I was getting too late to be messing about with it last night, so I thought, right, I'll switch it on again in the morning. It's busy charging. And the battery voltage is 13.55. So we'll leave that to do its thing for a bit and then we'll see if the 2 green lights end up lit up. Right, I've just come back to have a look and we've got both green lights on, so excellent. So it seems to be working fine. Let's just check what the battery voltage is now. 13.12. So the only thing I'm a little bit confused about is why changing the capacitors seems to have repaired it. I mean, unless it was just the LED was the problem. Because the capacitors seem to be working okay. So I don't know, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Right then, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, please subscribe. Any comments or questions, leave it in the comment section below. And as always, have a great day. Thanks for watching.